The role play every day, the most common question asked by buyers and asked by sellers is asked to our salespeople in the office. And we thought we're going to run through that with you very quickly today. Billy, what's the question?
Should I stay or should I go now?
Should I stay or should I go?
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
How are we?
That was cool. That was corny hard.
Yeah. Well, I've got the Clash. We're joined by Clash this morning. Nothing like a bit of English punk rock for a Tuesday morning.
They're behind you.
Yeah.
It's look. This is a really, really, really testing time for people with interest rates going up, and it's playing with people's emotions. It's playing with people's anxiety. It's playing with people's depression. It's playing with people's money. It's playing with people's homes, and people are left scratching their head because it was just a weirdo of a 2 or 3 years with COVID on one hand, but then on the other hand, property and shelter started doing really, really well. And now the opposite.
It's funny, and we're getting this. I think out of all the questions we get asked, this has got to be the one that we get the most. It's ridiculous. So many people are really in limbo stage, whether they literally stay or go now, and whether that be out of area or whether that be downsizing, purchasing. It's all the same. Everyone's kind of got the same concerns at the moment.
Well, it's where would you rather be, I guess, because 2 or 3 years ago when there was that uncertainty of COVID, it was just so scary. You just had the whole world pause, and the whole world pause on something that they didn't know the answer to. And it seems like now that there's certainty around that and there's assurances around that, we know how to act around that, it then puts so much confidence and so much wins into people's sales. They went out and spent. They went out and bought property. They went out and spent. So then it's almost like the interest rate rise has created creating this uncertainty and angst with people that's actually making them slow down a little bit. So it's I just wish I had a golden ball.
Oh, don't we all? That's
golden. What's it called? Not a miracle. What's that thing that the sorcerer had?
Crystal ball.
Miracle, golden ball, whatever it is.
It's true though, and we're just starting to hear of this. People now starting to look at maybe selling because it's getting a bit tight on the pockets, whether it be an investment property or downsizing or whatever. It's interesting.
Crystal ball. Thanks, Luke. Golden ball.
But what are we seeing? So at the moment there is should I stay or should I go now? There is, you could definitely say stock levels are quite low at the moment. So maybe people are not having the option to move on to what they're necessarily looking for. But there's a lot of talk on the flip side of that spring's going to be busy. A lot of property coming on in as we get into the warmer months. What are your thoughts on that, Mark?
Well, I think that, and people are asking, like last night, another client late having a big chat about, what do you reckon the market's going to do, and should I buy, should I not? I think at the end of the day, we're not just trading for the sake of trading. We're trading because we need to. We're trading because it's essential. And I know prices up, prices down, but at the end of the day, people just got into what they needed to get into on a domestic level. So they ended up just upgrading, downgrading. So, when you go and do your shopping in the supermarket, you don't have to shop for a while because you've just shopped. So I think there was a lot of property shopping shopping also done. Irrelevant to prices up, prices down. There was a lot of property shopping already done. People positioned themselves with what they wanted as an investment or as a living property, and that's okay. So it means just lower volumes now.
Yep. You've just moved yourself though. Did you have a concern about what the market's doing long term, or were you again transacting out of sort of necessity?
You look back to essential. So our family home of 15 years we're in, and kids are all through pretty much through high school. Jade's got year 12 to go. But our eldest is through uni and at work. So it was on the back of that essential, and we're done. Do you know what I mean? Probably and done for a very long time. So I think when people are saying they've got to, should I do it or should I stay? Should I go now? If you didn't do the trade for whatever reason in the last couple of years and it's essential to you, then absolutely you should do it. And irrelevant to where the prices are, it needs to be done. It's essential. So I think that, not only that, but if you look at property prices, Billy, the last 10 years, I'm a real stickler for the rolling 10-year average of a suburb. If you want to know what that rolling 10-year average for your suburb is, flick it across to us and we'll respond. But the rolling 10-year average for some suburbs should be around 100 to 110%. That means the property value 10 years ago was half the property value it is today. Well, that means the property value from 10 years ago is double. That's about right. That's where you should be sitting. And if we look at our parents and our families, the properties they lived in, they generally tracked it double every 10 years.
Yeah. Yep. And I think that's what you've got to sort of just come back to each time you're looking at buying, moving, selling, is the reason behind it. Because maybe you could agree late last year, people got a little bit caught up in maybe the dollars and cents side of it, how much they could get for their property. And it was hard not to. There were some big numbers being thrown around.
Look, they're huge numbers, but there was a lot of years where the market didn't do anything. A lot. There was periods of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years where the market maybe moved a couple of percent, 5% a year. And I'll say it again, the rolling 10-year average has to sit at about double on average. So if you're trying to nut out what the market's going to be doing in the next year or two, have a look at your rolling average on your suburb, your rolling 10-year average. And if that rolling average is quite low, maybe around the 80 or 90%, then I think you can bank some growth into your suburb the next couple of years. If that rolling average is sitting at 150% for your suburb, then I think your suburb could sleep for a couple of years until that catches back up. So that rolling average, obviously, each year will naturally push downwards as the years roll out because it's an average, and then the property prices going up will actually lift that percentage up. So if it goes up, beyond that 5 or 10%, it'll start lifting that average up. So I really encourage everyone, if you want to work out what property price is going to do in the area where you're living, look at the rolling 10-year average if you kind of brain it.
And there you go. If you need a suburb looking at, send it over or type it in now, and we can look it up for you. Send it back.
So we've got really good piece of data, which is called RP data. So that's it there. So it's an app. So it gives us the ability to put in any suburb. So for instance, if I put in Collaroy, and I put in units for Collaroy rolling 10-year average.
What have we got? 124 in the green.
Just see that. Yeah.
That's what happens when you're young. Your eyes still work, Mark. Joking.
That's impressive, dude. So we can run this average on any suburb. I can just before because I'm a bit excited and I really enjoy this. I'll run Parramatta units.
And so can you find this without RP data, or you just come straight to us?
We've got it because the subscriptions that we're on that we pay for, so we're happy. We always share this information with clients.
Yeah.
There you go.
100. I can't see that one. Stitch me up.
62%.
Wow, big difference.
Big difference. And the reason why, well, hang on.
So you're saying look at those numbers and where are we now? Still can't see that one.
62%. Yeah. So that's if someone is buying in Parramatta and they're asking me about should they stay or should they go now, that is going to be a different answer when I look at the rolling 10-year average of a suburb compared to if they ask me about DY. If they ask me about Narrowena Houses, which is one suburb inland from DY, I would give them a different answer again, because the rolling average, there are some suburbs that have had a rolling average of 190%. And I think those suburbs are really spent. And I don't think they're going to take a hit, but I think they're going to take a sleep.
Yeah, okay, that's a good way to look at it. Really good way to look at it. And then the buyer in this market that's going to sort of work their money the best, would you say that it would be someone looking to upsize?
So what's the question?
The buyer in this market that's going to get the most out of their money, is that the person upsizing?
Absolutely. I think if you're getting out at a lower price and you're knocking in at a higher price, the mortgage you would have taken on is smaller.
Yeah. So I was having a chat with Stevs, one of our other sales reps, yesterday. He thought it was maybe one of the best markets in 5, 6, 7 years he's seen to upsize, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah. And look, I think the ferocity of the market was quite intimidating for a lot of buyers and sellers. It's a much more relaxed market. It's a much more balanced market to achieve your sale and your purchase. There's more time. It's not violent.
No, we like peace.
It's peace. Well, it was, like a year ago, that to trade out and trade into a property, it's just that's high stakes.
Yeah, true that. I think that's the show, is it?
That's it. So what would you do, Billy Bob? What are you going to do? Are you going to stay or are you going to go now?
No, I'm staying until I'm ready to go now. I'm really looking forward to being back in the market, but not quite yet.
What does that look like to you? Is that selling and buying something bigger? Is it buying an investment property, keeping your place?
No, I think keeping it. Like for me, I've kind of worked it in as a normal everyday expense now, and then go again, just like adding another expense. But it's exciting times. There's some really I've just seen some really exciting opportunities out there. And at the same time, there's still, people moving on to some awesome things, whether it be outside of Sydney or into another property. So yeah, it's cool.
Do you reckon, I saw some data coming through on what prices have been doing. Do you reckon it's really going to cool off up north? Your Queensland and your Central Coast. Do you reckon they're going to peel back? They're going to pour the ball? They're going to level out?
I think it's got to level out, or at least just sort of line up with the rest of the country. There's only so much more that it can sort of push on from what Sydney's done. So yeah, stay tuned. I'm interested to see how many more rate rises can we actually take. That's a topic for another day. But how many more are there actually to come? Because we've had 3 consecutive ones now.
Unexpected.
4? Yeah. Well, expected but unexpected. It's done its job. How many more are here now?
Yeah, but just to have the assurance from the authorities to, we're not going to see rate rises until 24, 25, and then to be hit now, it's just unexpected, So I think that's almost like having a double rate rise. effectively. You know, so if you say if I expect to get 100%, that is a very different feeling that leaves me than if I don't expect the 0.5%. And do you know what I mean? The net effect can feel like 1 or 2% because I'm just. It was just I didn't expect it. So I think people are feeling that it's not really the cash flow, but it's the emotion of like, where did that come from? I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, true. It's another good way to look at it. Full of wisdom, Mark. See you later.
Bye, everyone. Thanks, Billy Bob. Thank you, Billy, the old man in a young man's body.
Thank you.
Do you want to play out your song?
Yeah, sure. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna get back up. Love this song. Love this song. There we go.
Say it will be double.
See you later.
Should I stay or should I go?